woke up again with a taste of the night. The shadow of sin hid the glorious light. The bottle was empty, my spirit was low. The pain in my soul had nowhere to go. I was broken and tired of the life I had made. The liquid I poured promised to ease the great strain, but it only brought shame and a heavy cold rain. I tried to drown the memories and the lies I had told, but the fire of the liquor just burned up my soul. My body was chained to a heavy dark sin. I'd trade the whiskey for the water of life. He pulled me right out of that awful dark strife. The Spirit of God is the comfort I need. He planted His hope, a salvation seed. His love is the only true thirst quencher now. By the bedside and cried out His name. The fire of conviction burned out all the shame. He came to the darkness and cleared out the haze, and showed me the wisdom of walking His ways. His forgiveness is stronger than any drink. I still feel the temptation that tries to pull back, but the light of my Savior keeps me on the right track. I tell every sinner who's struggling and weak, the freedom of Jesus is the water you seek. I'm drinking His grace, I will overcome.
My hands are rough from the hammer and hoe. The blisters I carry are the seeds that I sow. I don't look for comfort or a life soft and sweet. I just want my labor to be honest and neat. I work for the daily bread that He gave. The world says take shortcuts, just follow the trend, but a promise that's broken will quickly just bend. I choose the hard road, the path that is clean, where a man's honest effort is truly his mean. The devil hates the sight of a man on his knees. My call-sign hand is a sign of true grace. I pray while I'm working in this lonely place. I live for earth, but I live for His sky. My strength is from Jesus, He'll never say goodbye. The sweat on my brow is an offering to Him. My tools down when the daylight is through. Thank the Almighty for seeing me through. The The strength that He gives is more than I earn. It's the lesson of faith that I'm trying to learn. His grace makes the hardest burden light. So I tell every worker whose back is so sore, the Master who called us is worth living for. Don't let your own struggles define your true worth. The kingdom of heaven is worth more than this earth. I'm working for Him, I will overcome. My coddled hand is a sign of true grace. I pray while I'm working in this lonely place. I know born for earth, but I live for His sky. My strength is from Jesus, He'll never say goodbye. The sweat on my brow is an offering to Him. There was a wide chasm between you and me, built by their harsh words and the things you couldn't see. The distance was painful, the silence was vast. The memory of anger was holding us fast. We stood on the edges, afraid to cross over. My pride was a weapon, my ego was great. I kept my defenses and sealed my own fate. I wanted to blame you for the hurt I had known, but the seed of my own fault was clearly sown. I realized the mirror reflected my sin. Jesus' bed rests with His love and His blood. It's the ridge of forgiveness, it stands through the flood. We met in the middle and laid down the fight. His mercy is wider than the darkness of night. The cross is the only way home for us all. I stepped on the planks and I let go of a past. The freedom of giving, forgiveness came fast. You met me halfway with tears in your eyes. We spoke of redemption beneath the blue skies. His teaching is simple, just let the hurt go. Now we walk side by side, our chasm is gone. We sing of His goodness from the break of the dawn. I tell every friend whose relationship is weak, the peace of the Savior is the strength you should seek. I'm building His peace, I will overcome. The summer was long and the air was so hot.
We sat on the porch swing and gave all we got. We read the old stories of prophets and kings, of the power of heaven and the victory he brings. That porch swing was where my life turned around. No fancy degrees or a sermon too long, just simple old wisdom and a spiritual song. My grandma would rock as she opened the word, said a simple true faith is the most that's conferred. She taught me about the rock where I stand. That porch swing faith is all I ever need. It's growing from simple and honest seed. It's knowing that Jesus is with me. Each day he lights up the road and he shows me the way. It's a truth that is pure, it will always endure. It will always endure. When the troubles came calling in and the money was low, she said, look to the sky and watch the Lord show. She never once doubted the promise he made. Her strong, quiet confidence never once swayed. Her prayer was the strongest thing I've ever known. I still hear her voice when I sit down to rest, that a life lived for Jesus is truly the blessed. I tell every young soul that's seeking for truth, find that simple old faith that lives in the youth. I'm swinging with him, I will overcome. All I ever need, it's grown from simple and honest seed. It's knowing that Jesus is with me. Each day he lights up the road and he shows me the way. It's a truth that is pure, it will always endure. The preacher was finished, the singing was done, the truest communion had only begun. We headed downstairs where the women all stood, with dishes of bounty that tasted so good. The smell of the food filled the air all around. We gathered as neighbors, the rich and the poor, sharing the kindness right there on the floor. We spoke of our worries and the grace that we found. The Spirit of Jesus was all over the ground. The love on the plate was the truth we all shared. At the church potluck, His Spirit is free. We eat from His blessing for the world to see. We're all broken people who found their own place. We gather in faith and we share in His grace. A dish and a prayer is all that it takes. The man who was homeless was seated beside the deacon who had nowhere left to hide. We're all the same hungry, we all need the Lord. Our titles don't matter when we gather in accord. His love is the recipe that feeds us all. So next time you're lonely and needing a meal, come down to the church and show how you feel. We'll share all we have, both the food and the truth, the love of the Father that gives you new youth. I'm eating His grace, I will overcome.
The hike was too long and the sun beat me down. I was miles from the valley and far from the town. My backpack was heavy, my legs were weak and sore. I stumbled and fell, couldn't take any more. I lost all my hope way out on the path. The mountains looked mighty, they mocked all my pride. Wisdom of nature had nowhere to hide. I tried to push forward with the might of my arm, but the strength of a sinner will only do harm. I couldn't get up, I had to stop there. I said a prayer on the trail. When I fell on the dirt, He entered with grace, healed all the hurt. He said, I will carry the weight of your load. His love is a map and the only true road. I'm walking with Him, I will never get lost. I felt a strong presence that lifted me high, a hand on my shoulder beneath the blue sky. He showed me the lesson, just trust and be still, to stop chasing comfort, follow His will, His strength, the only strength I need now. I walk with assurance, my burden is light. I keep my eyes fixed on the glorious side. I tell every hiker who's struggling to breathe, the strength of the Savior is what you believe. I'm hiking with Him, I will overcome. I don't have a cathedral with stained glass so high. My church is a barn with a roof to the sky. The smell of the hay and the dust on the floor is where I meet Jesus and ask for much more. The silence out here is a holy sound. The world is too loud with its worry and noise. It tries to distract us from heaven's true joys. I shut out the clamor and the terrible rush and find the true answer in the peaceful, soft hush. I needed a quiet place to hear His call. My sanctuary barn is where I find peace, where worldly anxiety finally will cease. I pray on the hay and I talk to my Lord. His love
know some places can hold the true light. I thank Him for horses and cattle and sheep, the simple great blessings He constantly keeps. I opened my Bible and read the good news. The life of a farmer is the life I would choose. His creation reminds me of His great design. So I tell all the seekers who wander so far, you don't need a building or a shiny new car. Just find a quiet corner and kneel down and pray. The Lord of creation is waiting today. I'm praying to Him I will overcome. The tires roll down and they kick up the dirt. A cloud of fine dust that never quite hurt. It settles on everything, it coats the old wood, a sign that we live where the journey is good. The dust is a memory of where I've been. I used to complain about the heat and the mess, wish for a clean life with nothing to stress. I wanted smooth pavement and a perfect clean ride, but the Lord taught me lessons, 'cause I couldn't hide. The struggle of living is part of the grace. The dirt road dust is a crown that I hear, it's proof of the Johnny and answered prayer. I thank Him for trails that are rocky and hard. He's walking beside me, my faithful God. He keeps my soul clean, though my boots are all brown. I think of the path that the Savior once walked, through deserts and valleys where the enemies talked. His journey was dusty, His burden was great. He walked through the struggle to open the gate. His footsteps are the ones I must follow. So I embrace the struggle and the dust on my clothes. It's proof that I'm moving where His river flows. I tell every brother who's looking for ease, the journey of faith is the life that will please. I'm walking with Him, I will overcome. The red road dust is a crown that I wear, it's proof of the journey and answered prayer. I thank Him for trails that are rocky and hard. It's walk you beside me. Pillow was wet with the tears of the night. My mind wouldn't quiet, it needed the light. I worried about money and the children's next step, the promises broken that couldn't be kept. The weight of the future was pulling me down. The enemy mocked me, said you are alone, that the fear in your spirit is truly your own. I tried to solve problems with the strength of my brain, but my human solutions brought nothing but pain. I had to surrender everything I knew. I'm treading my war at the feet of the Lord. He gives me His peace, a heavenly word. His truth is the only safe place I can rest. I open my hands and I let my fear go, and the power of Jesus began to truly flow. He said, I have planned all your future and way. The comfort of knowing just brighten the day. His wisdom is perfect. I trust in His plan. Now I sleep like a baby when the darkness is near. I know that the Master is holding me here. I tell every friend who's struggling to cope, trade all your worries for the comfort of hope. I'm trusting in Him, I will overcome.
I look at the picture that hangs on the wall. My grandpa and grandma, they stood strong and tall. They taught me the faith that was planted so deep. The covenant promises they truly did keep. My roots run right back to the love of the cross. The generations before me all weathered the storm. Their hope in the Savior kept their spirits warm. They stood on the Bible when the world tried to fall. Their simple devotion stood up through it all. They showed me the true path I have to walk. My faith is the fruit of a family tree. It's rooted in Jesus for the whole world to see. The strength of my ancestor flies in me. Now I make a new promise, a holy new vow. I'll pass on the truth till the end of the days. I pray for my children and the days yet to come, that they keep the same faith until the Lord comes, that the love of the Father remains their true guide, and the promise of heaven is where they abide. I want them to know the strength of His word. So I tell every child when they gather to play, honor the old paths and follow the way. The tree of salvation is stronger than stone. The love of the Father will bring you back home. I'm living His legacy. I will overcome. My faith is the fruit of a family tree. It's rooted in Jesus for the whole world to see. The strength of my ancestors lives in me. Now I make a new promise, a holy new vow. I'll pass